Welcome to another edition of the Stack Supplement Podcast. We roll down all of the top stories and exciting announcements shared on our website from the past 7 days. We are rolling up another traveler's edition, I think you could call it, where I'm pretty much been on the road for the past month, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. We went from the Arnold to the Arnold UK. We visited a few brands in between, Mutant included. Who else have we stopped by? We visited Pollen, of course, NutriBio. We'll be putting highlights of all these little visits that we've done on social, just running down kind of some of the things that we see, stopping by, checking out. Won't be any kind of reveals or anything. We just generally stop by, hang out with these guys and get to know them a little more. It's always great to build relationships and very much get to know some of the brands. That has been why last week's episode did not happen. We ran into the Arnold UK and that transition from Pacific to Eastern to UK time just did, it was wild. Couldn't keep up, but we are back now. I'm coming all the way here from Sweden, actually visiting a retailer called Sports tomorrow, the company behind Viking Power, our international brand of the year for 2023, who also makes several other brands that you can find from the retailer, including I'm going to say Excellent, but it's spelled just XLNT. And then there's also Body Science that they do. They got a great selection of supplements. Always, that's one thing you'll notice in Sweden is that a lot of the big retailers do have some solid house brands, and that's who we were stopping by today. But tomorrow. But this episode is indeed about rounding up all the top stories from last week. And holy shit, it was a jam-packed week. Even though we were on the road and traveling around, we definitely were slammed with work. There was no shortage of excitement, hype, news, and stories. And we're going to kick this episode off with news from Raw Nutrition. Well, not necessarily Raw Nutrition, potentially, essentially the guys behind Raw Nutrition. They have shared details on the first ever Raw Athletic Club, or what you might want to just call the Raw Gym. The company branched out recently into energy drinks, not so much recently, more last year, and from supplements to energy drinks, and now we are getting into gym. Very few supplement companies out there have their own gym. Obviously, in fact, Apollon just mentioned is one. Alpha Neon's another. I know Nutrient has one out in the Czech Republic, and Raw Nutrition. Obviously, sorry, I almost forgot. Redcon 1 is also on that list with 2 locations, and now Raw Nutrition is about to throw its name onto that small group of companies with the Raw Athletic Club. They haven't really revealed too much details about what it's going to look like in terms of, like, sometimes you get renders, previews, or just random kind of draft concept artwork. This is just mostly verbal stuff. The gym itself is opening in May, bang on Memorial Day. It'll be in Florida, of course, which obviously makes sense with that being where Raw Nutrition is from. And it is, by the sound of things, going to be in premium as hell. So they are describing it as a, what does he say, I think he said 18,000 square foot of gym space. Comprised of 130 different machines, but they have ordered 160, suggesting that if they do have room to squeeze in more, they will indeed, they can squeeze in more, if they have the machines, basically. The equipment, obviously, I would assume, coming from the likes of Chris Bumstead and Matt Jansen, that this is not going to be I would imagine your regular average Joe's gym. I think they're going to be handpicking, selecting these things, and it's probably going to be one of those destination gyms, very similar to Alpha Leave and Redcon 1 gym, where obviously you get members around the place, but it's a heavily visited place where I guess you would, destination is, and you would fly to the place specifically to visit that gym for the experience, very much like how you would an attraction or a theme park per se. But yeah, more details on the site on that. I'm going to rush through, keeping this speed going, because again, got a lot to cover. Next up, we're going to go over to Vilgain in Europe. Vilgain is a Czech Republic company, known for its functional foods and snacks. In fact, a lot of European brands are known for that, but Vilgain is one of the few that has a ridiculously mammoth-sized lineup. They just have everything for every category, for every space, for every lifestyle, and every person. And that's not I would say that's common in Europe, at least compared to what you would get for brands in North America. There are quite a few that do that, where they just have these extensive selections of everything from protein to pre-workout to aminos to protein foods, protein snacks, bars, drinks, you name it. Essentially everything you could need. And what Vilgain has just done further proves that. So the company has gone and opened its own supermarket, essentially. So it has opened a supermarket in the heart of Prague, Prague 8 to be specific. And it is, you roll up and it's pretty much laid out like a supermarket. They have Whole Foods in there as well, like, I guess by the looks of things, like fresh vegetables and fruits and stuff, and some other things that I guess I don't think they are theirs, but then I guess if it's sold at a shop, it makes them theirs. But the majority of the products in there are from its own selection of sports nutrition and healthy foods and stuff. And as I said, Vilgain has just a mammoth of a selection of supplements and functional foods. And so I think this just sort of highlights just how damn good they are, that they have enough in the tank to be able to, enough in the tank to be able to fill an entire goddamn store. So it's pretty cool to be able to see them do that, at least, and not even do that. There are brands out there that will have the capacity to do that in terms of size of selection, but these guys went ahead and actually did it, opened a supermarket in its home country, and you just roll up, and by the looks of things, you will be able to walk out there with a week's worth of groceries, or at least a week's worth of food that you could potentially utilize as your regular groceries. Obviously, if you've never shopped, I guess, entirely from a functional food company before, it won't be as easy as picking up everything that you might be familiar with. It might take time, but I think knowing what they offer and how big the company is, you'd be able to go in there and satisfy your needs, I would think, once you get going. But all this stuff is on their site, so if you do go there and you're interested in a little more information, you can buy direct, again, outside of the fresh fruit and vegetables, I imagine. From there, we're going to shoot over to the team over at, not even the team, the man himself, Doug Miller, the mind behind Core Nutritionals, and also one of the people behind Miracle Labs, as well as Arms Race Nutrition. Doug has come out and said that he has another brand coming, which would bring his total to, I guess you could count it as 5, because if you weren't aware, he is part owner, I believe, in MyoBlocks, along with Steven Salmon from Man Sports. And so this would be his 5th brand, even though MyoBlocks hasn't actually officially launched, so I guess you could say either way. It's a new brand. It's called Unmatched Subs, or Unmatched Supplements. We don't know too much about it. All that he has said is it's going to be very much a quality brand, and I would hazard to guess it'll be a sports nutrition brand. As you've seen with Miracle Labs, Arms Race, and Core, while they are very different in their own right, different approaches to formulas, different categories, different styles of marketing, different everything, their formulas at their core are very much the same. You can get a pre-workout from each of them, you can get a protein powder, you can, they specifically tackle the sports nutrition market, and so it would be good to assume that Unmatched Supplements, also the name itself makes it sound like a very edgy performance sports nutrition brand. Again, with that name, Doug Miller involved, the word supplements attached, I would think this is going to be another sports nutrition brand, although I don't know the angle they're taking. Obviously, Core, Miracle, and Arms Race are very different from one another in terms of the fact that you could buy each brand and get a different experience. I don't quite know what the angle here would be for Unmatched, but it is launching soon. We'll have more information on that, but you can check out a nice little preview on the site, as always with anything that we mention on the podcast, and get ready. From what I understand, it will be here shortly, so we'll have more information when we can. Next up, we're going to go over to InnovaPharm, who, this is going to be a short little piece, but it needs a whole episode almost. InnovaPharm dropped 7 goddamn new supplements. It was huge. You very rarely get a brand that's been around for a while launching that many new supplements, but that is indeed what it did. The supplement company known for competing in some solid categories, pre-workout, weight loss and all that, it has dropped 7 entirely new supplements all on one day. That was the Monday just been, so 1 week ago. It was mammoth. Again, you don't see companies that have been around for a while do that. You might get 7 SKUs, like flavors and sizes, which I don't treat anywhere nearly as importantly as all new supplements. And that's exactly what Innova Farm has done. They've come out 7 all new supplements all on the same day. And I'll rattle them off because they do deserve a little more attention. But yeah, it's definitely, if any of them sound of interest, head over to Stacked, look up Innova Farm or the name, it'll come up. But so the products were Baber Burn. I say Biber. It is the Mito Burn version pretty much. Baber Burn is an all-new standalone Mito Burn supplement. Then there's Flexamind, which is a premium joint support supplement. Then there's Test XL, a quality testosterone booster. Novotropic, which is a nootropic from Innova Farm. Very complex supplement, fitting right into that, what I prefer to be my nootropic balance for things. For energy and focus outside of the gym, this is a nice balanced formula, quality ingredients and dosages. There is Thyrox, which is a thyroid-specific fat burner, so stimulant-free and can stack with other supplements in the brand's lineup, but at the same time, any other stimulant-based. Fat burner, obviously, being stimulant-free is an incredibly versatile attribute, and obviously it doesn't guarantee that it's stackable, but with no stimulants, you should be able to throw this next to a stimulant fat burner and have very little crossover, if none, based purely on how specific it is. The other one is MVP 365, which is considered your daily driver, everyday use pre-workout, but I feel like it falls out of that realm because of the price point. They have priced this exactly the same as their flagship pre. Usually if you get like a, what you'd call a daily driver, or like a pre-workout that's more on the simpler side of things, or more less ingredients, still respectable dosages, you get a better price. So I think that while this is kind of promoted as an everyday use pre-workout, I would actually call this more of a balanced pre-workout, so it doesn't lean too much to any specific benefit like energy, focus, pumps, or performance. It's very much an all-around pre-workout that you could throw down most days and be pretty happy with. But again, the price point is very similar to its star pre-workout, the regular MVP, or MVP 2.0. And then finally, the last supplement is Pop a Pump. This is a pump capsule format supplement powered by nitrosogene, ginseng, vasodrive AP, hemogrowth. It is a pretty solid pump supplement, but keep in mind, as with other pump capsule supplements, the ingredients are very specific. The pump capsule game has become sort of a subcategory of a subcategory. I would say that it's very much not openly related to the pump pre-workouts we know and love that are out there. You've got, obviously, Ghost Pump is one of my favorites. There are many other brands that do stimulant-free pre-workouts that focus entirely on pumps. Now, the pump capsule, I consider it to be a subcategory because brands aren't putting in what you can put into the powder into the capsules. Alternatively, brands can put what the competitors have put in the capsules into their powders. So when you get a company that makes a pump capsule, like we have here with Innova Farm's Pop a Pump, they're not going for those big ingredients. You're not going to get a pre-workout pump capsule that's got citrulline or glycerol or betaine collectively. Like if you have your betaine at 5, your glycerol at 5, your citrulline at 10, just say hypothetically, you aren't putting that in capsule format. The biggest complaint with capsules is how many you have to swallow. So yeah, you're probably not going to be throwing that down. And so you tend to get, with pump capsule supplements, the more concentrated, the more the ingredients that have effect that don't take up as much room, basically. Pine bark is one, a mento pump. Even sometimes you get ingredients that aren't as good, aren't as easily flavored. But you will only see this from brands that make the two. So if a brand makes a stimulant-free pump pre-workout, then a pump pre-workout capsule, they will not have them cross over. And so we purposely built for them to stack together. And so again, Pop a Pump has taken that approach, sticking to very compact dosages, nitrosogene at 1.5. They're still relatively big, but not the heights that you can get with citrulline and stuff like that. Pink Himalayan salts in there, vasodrive, another compact ingredient. Typically you get around, you can get anywhere from 256, 254, 508, then a couple guys have gone to the gram. So again, very compact, effective ingredient and suitable for that pump, so that capsule format. But again, all of that is dropped by Innova Farm last Monday. You can check it out on the site. We've got a full breakdown of each thing. It was pretty much an Innova Farm day, I think we were calling it. Even they commented on one of the posts. People said to me that they just, why'd you put it out? And I was like, dude, how can you not? It's 7 supplements all in one day. Whether or not we keep up with the news, we have to share this. This is the news. This is a brand launching 7 new supplements in one day. I don't think I've seen this for a while. We like to reflect everything that happens in the industry, so I wasn't going to spread these out. So it was a non-stop day that day, but you can check out everything on those products over on stack.com, stack3d.com. Still a bunch more to get through, but we're going to keep it as, might be some other big ones we didn't put in there, but the next up is Versa Energy Drink. Now this is PES Sciences, or PES is what I've always called them. This PES is energy drink. PES is obviously the brand behind Alphamine, the delicious select protein powder, and now the Versa Energy Drink. They've joined the mountain of sports nutrition brands jumping into the space, and they have taken it on with a 12-ounce competitor by the name of Versa Energy Drink. It is very simple, straightforward by the sounds of things. You get 125 milligrams of caffeine per can from 2 sources. I believe it's anhydrous and infinity dicaffeine malate. I don't believe there are other major components to it. I haven't seen the actual back of the can. I've seen kind of brief descriptions, and no one said like powered by alpha GPC or anything like that. They've all descriptions have been, hey, 125 milligrams of caffeine from 2 sources, Infinity being the other one. And that, to me, when you don't really highlight things in that area, would make it sound like that's it. I wouldn't be surprised if there are other things in there, like maybe taurine, or I don't really know. They haven't kind of put it on the label, like powered by so-and-so or whatever. So I would think that caffeine is the main driver, if not the sole driver. We don't know too much about the macros either, but knowing PES and how damn intense they are when it comes to sports nutrition supplements, even with their select protein powders, I cannot imagine them, after doing years and years of nutrition products, that they would go slam and make this full sugar. I suspect it to be low sugar, if no sugar, no calories. If not, then no sugar, low calories, and then at the very least, low sugar, low calories. They're pretty damn good with taste as well. That's one of the things that made select protein powder the popular product it is. I would also think that's going to carry over here, and there are 3 flavors right out of the gate. Those 3 are mandarin orange, black raspberry, which I thought sounded very interesting, and white cherry slushy. So very familiar tastes in terms of, again, we've experienced cherry, we've experienced raspberry, we know orange mango, and they've got some twists in there with mandarin for the orange mango. Then the black raspberry is not just straight raspberry. But yeah, all rolling out. I suspect they're all going to taste damn good. But they are, coming soon to PES's online store. And as far as I know, there are some stores who already have them. That's kind of where the details have been rolling out from. There's just a few mentions from stores. So it sounds like it's already out there, available from some of its retail partners. Next, we've got a 3-piece story from the team at 5% Nutrition. So they have blown out this week, very similar to Innova Farm, with plenty of news to share. 5% Nutrition has announced the Code Red series. Now, this is specifically a cost-effective, value-focused line. That's kind of the pitch with it. I believe each of the items is at $24.99. I say that, but 2 of them are on 5% Nutrition's online store at $24.99. I would think the pre-workout is in that realm too. I could be wrong, but I would think that if the other 2 are that, then that would make sense for this to kind of keep it going. And again, the focus is value and cost effectiveness. And if that is the case, $25 is right in that area, right where it should be. If you want to get a premium supplement, $35, $45, so and so, but then you also alternatively want to offer value, $25 is a damn good place to be. And the ingredients are kind of what you would expect. I'm not trying to knock, but that's the point of them, right? When you have a cost-effective supplement, it's hard to disagree with it because the whole point is to give you something on the cheaper side of life. And 5% Nutrition has long been known for quality supplements, done some great things, 5150, Kill It. They do Kill It Reloaded, I think was them. Full as fuck. They do some damn good supplements and they know how to dose. And so when you look at this, the purpose is value. So again, you can complain about it and say it should be higher, but they do have supplements at higher amounts. So it's not like, again, it's a pointless argument or discussion, but yeah, they've put together pretty much what you'd expect from the price point. The 5%, so there's made into the series, there's Code Red Aminos, Code Red Creatine, and Code Red Pre. The aminos, from as far as I understand, is very straightforward BCA-based supplement. Again, sticking to your basic of basic. I think there might be electrolytes in there. I'm not entirely sure, but it is a very, very basic of basic formula. And then you've got the Code Red Creatine, which isn't as straightforward as we know 5% can be. They do have a standalone creatine monohydrate supplement, and that is, that's kind of as cheap and as cost effective as you can get. It's just the ingredient unflavored. Now, in the area of Code Red Creatine, it's not necessarily the most cost effective. The core series creatine from 5% is better value. But I guess they wanted to try and fall in between on this one, and the Code Red Creatine is in fact a blend of 3 different creatines. Still giving you 5 grams of creatine a serving, but not as cost effective as just the straight core series unflavored creatine monohydrate. The third and final supplement is Code Red Pre, and it is, again, very, very basic, very straight to the point. You got 4 grams citrulline per serving, a gram of glycosides, a gram of taurine, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, 150 alpha GPC, 500 tyrosine, and then 300 micrograms of huperzine A. Nothing super complex, very to the point. Again, if that was 25 bucks, it makes sense. 20 servings per bottle as well. Just over $1 a workout. You can't, like I said, if you wanted something more complex, 5% has your back. This is for those people that may not want to jump straight to that and, again, keep it below 30. It's a nice introduction, nice alternative, and I kind of like the approach. They just stuck to the realistically the reliable ingredients for at least for the pre-workout, and then you've got the aminos and creatine. But with all of that, you can check it out on the site. Type in 5% Nutrition or just Code Red series; it'll bring them up. I believe all of them are on the 5% Nutrition website. If not, if they weren't at the time, they will be soon, or potentially even now as we record this. But yeah, you'll be able to read more about them over on the website and pick them up in stores as well as over at the official online store shortly. The last story we have is this bad boy right over my shoulder, PharmaFreak, who, I don't know, when we write these things, we've done 2 or 3 times in the past, it's kind of awkward to write because we're trying to announce something, but it's ours. So yeah, I'm gonna speak about this in basically third or fourth, whatever the hell person it may be. But PharmaFreak has partnered up with a third party for a collaboration for a special edition pre-workout. Lo and behold, that other person is us here at Stack3d. We've created a pre-workout with them called Stacked Freak. Of course, one of the coolest names you could ever think of. It's pretty much our name pronounced as Stacked, and then Freak, which is, if you're not familiar with PharmaFreak, that's how they name each of their supplements: Rip Freak, GH Freak, Test Freak, all that stuff. They kind of attach Freak at the end, and rightfully so, we call the pre-workout that we've put together with them Stacked Freak. And it's very much a blend of pretty much both brands, I would say. One of the things you would see is that if I were to make a pre-workout with this brand and brand A, brand B, brand C, it wouldn't make sense if they were all the same formula, right? To me, that just didn't make sense. And so I've kind of we've done a couple of special editions with brands. Some of them we didn't alter the formula whatsoever. It was just a flavor. But the idea of that, that supplement keeping the formula made sense, right? I wouldn't want to, hey, let's do a stacked edition and make it exactly like another stacked edition. you got to infuse. And I think when you do flavors for products and brands, it associates you, kind of shows the level ground that, you know, you're meeting them doing this formula and so on. And that's kind of what we've gone with PharmaFreak. It's a blend of Stacked, what I like in a pre-workout, and then kind of PharmaFreak's touch. Obviously, PharmaFreak knows its fans and followers far better than I do. It's been doing this and it runs its own brand for you know, God knows how long. I think it might be more. It's definitely more than a decade. Might even be a decade and a half or two. Anyway, so we had input in the formula. You'll probably be able to pick out some of the things that we said, this needs to be in here, this needs to be this. I got the thankful delightment of picking the flavor, so we tried a few. This has been a project that's been months in the making. I actually visited PharmaFreak's HQ and tweaked it and worked on it, and so this is something that's been a long time coming. We just unveiled it last week in terms of preview. So the formula, I think the formula's been revealed later this week, maybe. I had my suggestion on how to reveal it, but obviously we're back and forth and we'll be deciding on certain dates and how it plays. But yeah, it's a solid formula. I used it and had a damn good time. But again, it's you got to say, when you see these things, it's nice blends of different brands, and I think that I definitely helped PharmaFreak put together something that their fans are going to love the shit out of. I loved it as well, and again, you'll see the formula and you'll be like, holy shit, he ain't wrong. And it's solid. It's a nice all-round pre-workout, and the formula will be on this week, and I think it's actually launching this week as well, maybe this week or next week. But it'll be available in the coming weeks. Any distributors, definitely reach out to PharmaFreak. I think they're making this available internationally. I'm not entirely sure on that. But you'll be able to reach out and bring it in or whatever. It is a limited edition product, so this will only be made once. I'm going to get my tub and keep my tub, and maybe I open it, maybe I don't. But yeah, very cool to finally have this shared. Have a supplement called Stack3d. Just, again, very cool name and a perfect name, because it does blend together the two brands. Things that we like here at Stacked, and then things that PharmaFreak knows its fans like. And so, yeah, that'll be revealed shortly. Stay tuned for more information, as always, on Stacked. That does it for this episode. I appreciate you tuning in. All we ask in return for anything we do at Stacked is, yeah, visit the site 1,000 times a day. Never leave it if you want. Refresh it and just keep going. I don't know. Share with your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your friends, and your family. And look forward to having you back next time on next week's episode, which I am 50% confident I will be able to do.